What's happening, everyone? Today we're going to be looking at the Sigma 24mm f1.4. Now, I've been looking at this particular lens for quite a while now. I couldn't actually get my hands on one of them, but finally I've got the lens that I've always actually wanted to get. The reason why I wanted to get this particular lens is because for me personally, I've tested the Canon R6 with its kit lens, so it gave me a vast amount of focal distance for me to test out, and I always found myself going straight back down to 24mm. So I thought, why not just get yourself a Sigma 24mm f1.4, the lens that I've always wanted, along with the Sigma 105 prime fast lens. Now, this particular lens, I've actually been testing it out for quite some time. Now, I'm still using the kit lens for now, so let's just swap it over and just have a look and see if you guys can actually tell the difference in terms of the image quality, sharpness, and of course the depth of field. Everyone wants to talk about the depth of field, so let's slap it on now. Boom, there you go, Sigma 24mm f1.4. It is still so bright at f1.4 that I had to slap on a variable MD inside my own little bedroom over here. So as you can see, the image quality is not that much of a difference, but the difference definitely, as you can tell, is the depth of field. Now, the reason why I mainly wanted to get this particular lens is to make sure that I utilized the fantastic sensor that the Canon R6 offers, and that of course is low light performance. Now, I already know that with an f4 aperture that you can still crank it up to 25,600. Now, I was actually kind of interested in how low of an ISO I can actually get down with this similar kind of exposure compared to the kit lens that I've got. Now, I've already done a little test between this little kit lens and a Canon M50, because I'm coming from a Canon M50. That's the reason why I'm testing it. So it's nothing in terms of comparing it like for like, it's just to show you guys the difference between Canon M50 with a Sigma f2.8 mini zoom 17 to 50 f2.8, compared it to a kit lens of a Canon R6 or just an Eos R body, which is the 24 to 105 f4. So both of them were set at around about 24-25mm. Of course, APS-C size 17mm is of course always going to be factored in with the crop, so it's around about 27mm. Yeah, but if you guys are interested in that little test, and of course I'll put a little link up in description or down below or somewhere around the screen here. But if you guys want to check that out, then of course have a look at that. Now, this lens is of course super sharp. Quite a lot of reviews that I've been looking at, and most likely yourselves have been looking at, are always saying the same thing, that the image quality out of that is superb. It rivals essentially Canon L or a Sony G Master lens. Now, it is extremely affordable nowadays, especially the 24mm. You can actually pick this up for less than £400. That's what I've actually picked this up. Mine is used, but of course it came with all the accessories that it normally comes with. But enough talking about that, why don't we just check this out and see what it's like at low light performance. Of course, at daylight you need to use a variable ND and stuff like that, and I think quite a lot of people have already done that. So let's just change it up and see how good that Canon R6 sensor is at low light performance. So let's slap this lens on and compare it with a kit lens and see what we can actually get both at 24mm. Let's check that out.
We hard, raising the hood where it's ours. They hopping on ship like a pirate. Ayy, ayy, driving the boat and I came for the loot and the tragedy. Be hating, do better. Dropping them ashes, done burn me a hole in my sweater. I'm stingy, I'm holding this cheddar. Holding this cheese, living more better. Smoking these doobies with Xavier. We keep the gravy. Yeah, we too groovy. We keep it unruly. Know it's yours truly. Smoke a big head, call it Stewie. Bad chick wanna do me. Thick and she coolin', she busted open like a Uzi. I busted, then I'm back to duty. Call of Duty, I'm online with it. Took my time with it. Watch the operators, they be plotting. On the go with the gang and they rock with us. Everywhere that we go, we be popping up. Yeah, we popular. Eyes on us like binocular. Yeah, they time is up. You could try your luck, stay anonymous, but in God we trust. In God we trust. All these looking odd to us. Riding waves just like they ride the bus. Them pretty wanna ride my the vibe is us. Sergio Tacchini eating fettuccine. Know they see me getting cake. I've been out hustling at the dinner, baby. I'm a winner. I don't really need a break. Breaking my foot in your, breaking the neck of these when I'm bending the corner. Breaking my in the glass, burning that loud and the neighbors done heard the aroma. Play a persona, she eating my till she fall in the coma. The Carter the itis. I really got it off the muscle. that they admire. All of these expire. Ice of the boss and we hire. Raising the hood where it's sirens. They hopping on ship like a pirate. Ayy, ayy, driving the boat and I came for the loot and the tragedy.
Of course, it isn't 24mm, it's going to be around about 37mm, and the aperture, for those of you guys are not aware, you have to multiply the aperture by 1.6. So in this case, 1.4 times 1.6, we're looking around about 2.2 or 2.6 or something like that. So this effectively is something similar like an f2.8 16 to 35 or something similar to that, because you have to multiply the aperture as well. And this is the image that you can actually expect. Now what I'm going to do is keep everything exactly the same, tripod exactly the same. I'm just going to swap out the camera body again and just show you guys the difference compared to a Canon R6, just to see how really good the low light capability is on that. So this is at ISO 4000, and this is what you can expect. I don't think a lot of people would actually go above and beyond 3200, because you're just losing a hell of a lot of when it comes to image sharpness and of course contrast. So let's have a look and swap the bodies out and see the difference. And here we go. Right now we are shooting at 4K on the Canon R6 at 24mm at, of course, f1.4, and this is the image that you can actually expect. Exactly the same composition, but as opposed to standing all the way here to get framed up here, now I can actually get a lot closer to you guys and show you guys the difference. Now, because the Canon R6 allows me to boost the ISO a hell of a lot more than 3200 or 6400 limit that quite a lot of people would stop going past on the Canon M50, no matter what lens they slap on it. Now I can actually use the ISO at its max potential. Now, as you can see right now, I can boost the ISO up considerably a lot. Now it's at 12,800. And as you can see, the image quality is still super clean. So I can actually see it on the screen right there that I can't see any noise, no haze, no nothing. Sharpness is top notch, quality is top notch, and this is the reason why I've actually purchased a 24mm f1.4 Sigma Art. But yeah, my god, I am genuinely shocked at how good the quality is with the Sigma Art 24mm combined with the Canon R6. For those of you guys that are on the fence in regards to obtaining one of these lenses with this camera body, I would not hesitate whatsoever. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I was expecting it to be, oh, okay, it's going to be marginally better, but I wasn't expecting it to be a massive step up. That's it, guys. I've just done the test. I've just reviewed at it. It is the following morning, and I was absolutely gobsmacked at how bad the quality is on the Canon M50. I mean, to be fair, the Sigma lens or any EFM Sigma lenses like the 1.4, 16mm, 32mm and 56mm, they tend to be good, okay? But once it starts getting extremely dark, you still can't get past ISO 3200 without the completely image to be unusable. Now that test isn't to be a direct comparison as if which one would you actually go for. That test was just to illustrate the difference in terms of the image quality between a Canon M50 with its APS-C size crop sensor compared to a Canon R6. Now again, that camera R6, it isn't supposed to be a flagship professional. That's where the R5 and the 1DX actually comes from. This is just basically a 60 replacement. Essentially, that's the way I see it. I've been looking at the 60, especially the Mark II, for quite some time, but I think the technology on that particular camera is a bit too outdated for me to actually jump from the M50 to the 60. So what did I do? I waited for the first mirrorless camera. Now, I've seen the original EOS R, but again, 30 megapixel. Mind you, I was actually aiming for a really good low light performer in terms of video specs. So the original EOS R, although I rate it excellent again, but I don't see 30 megapixel Canon's first full frame mirrorless camera. I was expecting it to be, you know, some sort of flaw. So thankfully, I didn't actually go for it because it's got a major crop in 4K. Didn't want to be dealing with that, so that's why I've opted with the Canon R6. And as you can see, the performance on the Canon R6 at night is superb. As you can see, I've shown you guys real examples and obviously compared it to a Canon M50 just to show you guys how dark it is and how much I had to boost the ISO. And remember, I still had the exact same lens, which is the Sigma 24mm f1.4. So you can't get anything faster. Of course, you can slap a speed booster on the Canon M50, and again, I will be looking into that. So for future videos, I will absolutely look into that and show you guys the difference again, do the exact same test again. But from that, this is just a basic, just a little test just to show you guys the difference. Now, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I will see you guys in the next one because I've got quite a lot of things moving around right now. That's the reason why I've not been uploading for quite some time now. But I will be uploading a lot more videos in regards to this camera and future lenses that I will be obtaining. Again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Holding my sweater, I'm stingy, I'm holding this cheddar. Holding this cheese, living more better. Smoking these doobies with Xavier, we keep the